Hey everybody. Happy Saturday, right? It's Saturday. January 3rd. All right, so today we're going to be working on a pet portrait commission. This one is a memorial commission of a sweet pupper. We're going to be working on it with some acrylic markers. And let's get started. I believe that, she was reported to me as being a black dog, so she is mostly black, but she does actually have like a lot of brindle and maybe kind of a brownish hue in spots, so we're gonna work on that, making sure we, kind of capture a good representation of her fur color and all that stuff. And that'll make for a more interesting painting too, if we're incorporating some different colors in there. I hope everybody's been doing good so far this year. The weather's been kind of crazy here. It was super, super cold. What day was that? I guess on New Year's Day it was really cold. And then today and yesterday it's been like in the 80s. I think yesterday was like 89. I'm not sure what it is right now, but it's also very warm. I really like this pup's eyes. They're really cute and expressive. So let's see. But yeah, and then we went to a park on January 1st, and since then my allergies have been bothering me really bad. There's like a lot of cedar pollen in the air, and I'm allergic to that, and so I apologize if I end up sneezing or anything like that. I'm doing my best. So you can see here that I sketched out the drawing originally in yellow. That's something I usually do, even if I'm painting with like brushes and acrylic. I'll make like a yellow underdrawing, and then I go back and do another color that's still pretty light on top of that, where I, basically like refine the stuff that I already drew, so that I feel like I can get it pretty accurate, before I start laying in a bunch more colors and stuff. As I have mentioned to y'all before, my commissions are open, and I just listed pet portrait commissions as an option on my Etsy page. So, if you like what you see and
I'm Xena.
Are interested in getting something like that for Oh, cool. I love it when the stream drops when I'm trying to like plug something. That was really helpful. Internet, thank you. Anyway, if you're interested in getting, a portrait for yourself or maybe like as a gift for somebody else, I have that option up on my Etsy right now. It comes in as far as dimensions and stuff. You can either do like a 9x12 canvas board like this, or I also have an option for like a 6x6 stretch canvas that's like about 2 inches thick. So like a smaller, ready to hang painting. All right, I think I'm gonna go in with some blue here. Did our music stop? Let me double check on it. There we go. Yeah, it did stop. So weird. Okay. We're back on. I think I'm gonna make an adjustment here to her upper eyelid. She does look pretty surprised in the picture, but I think kind of smoothing out this shape makes her look more surprised and like less concerned. I looked a little concerned there for a second. I will do my best to keep talking a little bit through this. There might be some times where I get a little quiet because I'm, concentrating on doing a likeness here, But yeah, I enjoy drawing dogs, working on dog portraits and things like that. I've always been a dog person. Basically, like my whole life, my parents, our family had dogs. There was like really never a time when my parents didn't have dogs. Like a lot of times we had two, so if one, passed away or something, we would still have, another dog and eventually get another pup to add to the crew. So usually there were always two of them around. The only time I didn't have a dog was when I went to grad school out of state. Oh my gosh, I was so sad that I didn't have a dog, and I you know, had this landlord that didn't want us to have pets. And I was just so miserable. I like wanted to go to dog parks and stuff like that just so I could see dogs like running around. So I'm a big dog fan. As far as kinds of dogs that I've had, well, when I was born, my parents had a Weimaraner named Lukey. He was a really good boy. He was like the really dark kind of Weimaraner, not like that like kind of interesting gray color. I guess it's kind of like this gray color that they can be. It's almost like a warm gray. I forget what they call it, but he was more like a really dark, like blue gray, almost black, and he had yellow eyes. He was really pretty. And very sweet to me as a baby. Very tolerant of my baby antics. Like I used to try to hand him my teething biscuit and stuff like that. My parents always used to talk about that, and then a few months ago I actually saw a video of it happening. We were going through some old VHSs and stuff, and there I was trying to hand him my teething biscuit and also like my dinner and stuff sometimes. So maybe that's why he was so sweet to me. You know, he might get something out of it. Well, I'm really wanting like a darker brown here, but a lot of these browns are sort of lighter, so I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and start our mixing process. So I'm pretty sure I got the likeness going really well. So it's just gonna be a matter of getting the colors and all that looking right. Okay, it does look like the purple cheeks out on the side have more of a light brown to them. Like a brindle brown. But yeah, and then the next dog that we had was a Rhodesian Ridgeback. Very cool dogs. Really beautiful, really protective too, I guess I'd say. A little bit aloof. They do kind of like just do their own thing. You know, like going and just like laying in another room by themselves and stuff like that. But yeah, she used to do this thing where like she'd stand between me and other people, like she was protecting me. Like one time I was playing jacks or something with one of my aunts when I was pretty little, probably like 6 years old or something. And yeah, we were playing jacks and I was like squealing and stuff as little kids do, and she came up and like stood between me and my aunt. Like she was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it. So I do try and add in some like fun colors and stuff when I'm doing this, but not so much that it doesn't feel like it's, you know, the dog or a real dog. If you know what I mean. Like a little bit of invented color, but not a ton. It's not like one of those portraits that's like 100% made up colors. I do like portraits like that, but you know, usually for things like this, it seems like people are more so after like an accurate likeness than they are you know, something kind of wild. But kind of depends on the client and the artist, you know. All right, and then it looks like just a tiny bit of dark pink in here. And then we'll mix some more black around. Do you want to see like how well I can kind of mix like the different kinds of acrylic brand markers that I've got? So you'll see mostly I'm using these Arctic markers, which I really like. They have a brush tip, and sometimes I'm going to be using these Thule markers. In any case that I don't have the exact color I need in the Arctic markers, or some of the Thule markers have like darker values to them, so that can be helpful for different things that we're trying to achieve. I wanted to mix a little bit more of a green color there. And then probably mix this a little bit together here. Let's get it a little bit pink, but not as pink as just the raw color in there. And then trying to kind of build up a little bit of a darker value here through some mixing of the markers together. And then my next dog after that, or one that we got a little while later, so they were like, you know, together at the same time in our family, was a Boston Terrier named Bandit. Bandit was a riot. She was kind of a more tanky Boston Terrier. Like she was kind of built a little bit more like a French Bulldog or something. Like her head was a little bit bigger, and yeah, she played a little bit rough. When she was a puppy, she would just run and run and run and run and run and run and run. Just very active. And so funny. I think that anybody that's had a Boston Terrier will tell you that they have like really funny little personalities. Like it feels like they have a sense of humor. And she was a really good little buddy. And when I was little, I would like dress her up and stuff. Like my mom would come in from somewhere and I would have, you know, dressed her up in some scarves or like some of my play jewelry or whatever. And she was so sweet. She just sat there wearing her little outfits that I made for her. It's really sweet. Sweet dog. And then eventually we got another Rhodesian Ridgeback. And the first one that we had was really, really tall and like pretty slender. Like definitely more greyhound vibes in her. And then the second one that we had, she was really short and just kind of more thick, I guess, and a little bit more prone to just kind of lounging around on the couch and stuff. And she liked to go for walks and stuff, but she like was born with hip dysplasia, and so we realized that when she was like maybe just a couple years old, and there wasn't really anything we could do about that. So I still took her for walks and stuff, but she would let me know whether she was actually interested or if she felt like she didn't want to do it that day. But she was also really protective, sweet but protective, like our first Ridgeback. And I think people say that they kind of seem more like one-person dogs because they have like a clear favorite. The Ridgebacks do. I kind of feel like my dad might have been both of their favorites. Maybe for the second Ridgeback we had, I might have been the favorite or like a close second, but you know, I think it depends on the dog. I don't always know how true it is when people say that, you know, dogs are like one-person dogs. It probably just depends. But yeah, and then eventually later on we got another Boston Terrier, our second Boston Terrier, and her name was Dash, and she was a lot smaller than Bandit was. She was very petite. Bandit looked like she could have, you know, steamrolled somebody, even though she was really little. And Dash was like really delicate. Really like slender and a little tiny head. And she was so sweet. I mean, I keep saying that about them all, but they're all sweet, right? They're dogs. They're all Good buddies. And I used to take Dash with me for rides a lot. She was a good little passenger. And she would do this thing like, well, if she got out of the house, you know, she would kind of like just try to run all around. And you know, my parents wouldn't be able to catch her. And then I would come outside and I would just like get down like kind of on my knees and open my arms wide and, you know, shout to her, and then she'd just come running into my arms. And it was really cute. And then while I was in grad school, my parents ended up getting 2 Great Danes. Oh my gosh. It's like when you move out of the house and your parents do stuff to your room. They turned my room into a guest room, and they also bought 2 Great Danes. And they were brother and sister. The brother is still with us. And the sister, oh my gosh, she was... Man, I don't know why my stream keeps dropping today. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I have no idea. I lost my train of thought. Oh, but the sister, yeah, oh my gosh, she was so rambunctious, and like the 2 of them would roughhouse, and it just sounded like, I don't even know, like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, like 2 horses like hitting each other, like they would kind of like tackle each other. Oh my gosh. And I think one time they were roughhousing in the yard, and they like ran past my mom and like bumped into her and like hurt her knee. And I was like, this is not good. And the sister was like really outgoing, I guess, you know, and she barked a lot. And she was kind of a troublemaker. She was always getting into stuff. And the brother, the one my mom has now, remaining, he's so sweet and just pretty relaxed. He's still a good guard dog, but he's very, very relaxed. I think our nose is going pretty good so far. I'm using even more colors than I was expecting to use at once, but that's okay. Let's see. Okay, I do want to add a little bit more brown right here. Just trying to make sure I've got the different forms and stuff looking good, looking right. Not really sure what kind of pup this is. It's very cute. Does it look a little bit like I don't know, like a little bit German Shepherdy, but also kind of like some kind of herding dog or something. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and get into some of our dark values here. So yeah, as always, just hanging out. Lurking is welcome. We're lurker friendly. If you have any questions or anything, though, feel free. Happy to answer them. Now, I have 2 dogs. After I got out of grad school and we moved back to Texas, I got a couple of pups. One of them we think is a pit bull. They said collie mix, but I feel like she seems more like a dang. Why can't I think of it? Kind of like a sheepdog and a pit bull. She's like a red color, but she's very it feels like she's trying to herd you sometimes and stuff like that, you know. And she's built like a little bit more lean than a pit bull, but she has like she's really muscular and has like a muscular pit bull type head, just like a little bit less wide. And she's so sweet, just like a little angel. She's like a very intense guard dog, but also like she loves people, she loves kids, she loves other dogs. Whenever we take her to the dog park or something like that, she does that thing where she just like gets real low, like to the ground, and almost like kind of crawls over to the other dog. Like she's just so excited to meet a new friend. And then my other dog is a they told us he is a Chihuahua mix. He's kind of, I feel like he's a little big for a Chihuahua, and he's also really long. And he's like black and like that black, blonde, and kind of like a reddish tan color. So we feel like he might be part dachshund, maybe. So we think he's a Chiweenie, but we're not totally sure. He is also a great pup. He is a barker, though. He barks at every gosh darn sound. So, you know, he's just trying to help. He's just trying to be a good guard dog, I guess, but he does drive me a little bit nuts sometimes from that aspect of things. And he's a little bit more standoffish when it comes to other people and other dogs and stuff. But once he warms up to people, he's, you know, he's fine. He's really sweet. My mom calls him a little alligator because when he's happy and he's like running around, like when we take him to go visit her or something, he's just got his little mouth open the whole time, like smiling. It's pretty cute. And until we took him to visit her for kind of an extended stay recently, I feel like she had never seen him just relaxed with his mouth closed. She didn't know what he looked like. All right, so we're mixing a lot of different browns together. Black, blue, all kinds of stuff to get the job done here. I guess while I am here, let me throw the link to the custom pet portraits in the chat, just in case. I hate it when they, like when you go to copy a link and then it adds like all that extraneous link on there, you know, like for tracking and stuff like that, but it makes the link look so ugly. All right, anyway. Xena welcoming me to my own stream. Thank you, Xena. So diligent. Okay. All right, let's see. So I think I'm gonna go back in this one. And I think we'll probably keep coming back to this area a bit. It's kind of a more tricky one. So I'm going to try to do this whole portrait with just the acrylic markers, and we'll see how it goes, or if I will end up needing to add some regular acrylic paint and stuff too. That'll probably only happen if I feel like I can't get some of the important colors quite right, or something like that. I think it's going good so far. And start adding in some of the little whisker bumps. I feel like even though everybody knows dogs have whiskers, I feel like that's like an area you have to be kind of careful with when you're adding whiskers and stuff onto the dogs, because like you can really easily accidentally make them look like a cat. Okay, so in here I'm gonna add a little bit of this pinkish color. We're gonna blend it in, and then we're also gonna add some brown. Just blend in some different things together to get what we want. The black is interesting because it's like it's like really, really strong when you add it on top of other colors. But then when you're adding other colors on top of it, even if it's like wet into wet, it's pretty weak and it like wants to disappear right away. And then we'll go back to adding a little bit of blue down here at the bottom for Pup's little gray hairs. Little gray chin.
I'm hungry.
Xena is certifiably always hungry, pretty much. Let's see. I'd like to complete this whole drawing on stream too. That would be great. That is what we will be aiming for. Okay, it looks like we get into some brown fur again, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add that in here. We're getting some interesting spidering here on this canvas. It's So it's kind of interesting that it's responding like a little bit differently versus whenever we've used the what is it called? Like stretch canvas. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. I feel like we do have like a nice blue here. Like a blue highlight on the black fur. Looks really pretty. Definitely want to accentuate that a little bit. And then I also feel like we have it going a little bit right here too. There's my white. I am gonna add white to the shines for sure. And then the whites of her eyes are really pretty bright white. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding that in a bit. And I feel like this is a little bit blue-green, but we need it to be more of a warm blue here. I think for a second I might take a little break from all the fur and stuff and work on this like pillow type situation we've got going on in the background. It'll give us a little bit more color and stuff to work with. So I'm just going to add in some flats for it for now. And then over here. It's also pretty dark blue. Starting to match my backdrop pretty well over here. All right, let's see something a little bit brighter up from this. You'll know I'm gonna add that teal in here that I really love because I can't help it. But the situation does call for it this time, so I'll be fine. Oof, I'm gonna try to turn this a little bit so I'm not getting too off screen here. This one's a 9x12, so it fits a little awkwardly in my streaming setup here with how my camera and stuff is set up, but so how has y'all's 2026 been going so far? It's been going pretty good for me, I think. It's been a little bit hard at times. You know, negotiating some first holidays and stuff without my dad and all of that, but overall, also, I'm very excited to be working on my art business and, you know, doing stuff like this full time. And I'm really excited to keep building that venture. And, you know, it's been nice. Like, I don't know, just a lot of stuff is different, you know. Since leaving my other job, I've been able to like walk my dogs a lot more and just different stuff like that that wasn't necessarily something I was thinking about. Like wasn't top of mind as far as like things that were maybe going to be different. But that's a really good side effect of it, you know. They like it. They've been on like at least, I don't know, 2 or 3 times as many walks the last couple of weeks than normal. So they're having fun. All right, and then let's see, we'll kind of do a little shape like this. Yeah, move this again. And we'll keep blending out that dark blue and also this lighter blue into here. This reminds me of, I used to have some sheets that were like this exact color a long time ago. Yeah, this reference photo was really cute. I feel like you can tell it was probably like, you know, a moment of play or something. Really sweet picture and fun to draw. Yeah. And then let me get this blue mixed in here a little bit more. All right. I mix these pins together quite a lot, and it doesn't really seem to affect the original colors too much. Like just like any kind of paintbrush, after you, you know, like keep making some more marks, it kind of cleans itself and returns back to the color it was supposed to be. Yeah, I think this blue and teal is going to look really nice with the browns and stuff in the dog. I think it's going to complement her really well as we get her more colors on her. All right. Okay. I think that's good for now. I'll probably let this side dry a little bit more now. Okay, I think I'm gonna kind of turn it this way so I can get this top bit. All right. I'm gonna take a little drink again. All right. What should we do next? Kind of thinking about doing some of the colors in her ear right here. Blend a little bit of that in. So as y'all can see, we have a new follower goal. It was 5. Now we're at 6, even though the widget says 5. So I'm very excited about that. Super appreciative to the 6 folks who have opted into this journey over the last month or so since I started. Just a little bit over a month. And, you know, on our way to the 25 for being an affiliate eventually here. Okay. So now I want to get back into her face. And I'm going to start with adding some more of this nice grayish teal to some of the parts that are reflecting like a blue light. They might be reflecting some of this color in the blankets also, actually. All right. It's been quite a journey so far. We've done a lot of drawings together on the channel, some paintings, digital paintings, worked on some comic book pages, finishing some outstanding illustrations that had been outstanding for I don't know, like a year or more. We've done studies of frogs, now dogs. Xena has been here for most of it, sleeping and eating treats. What else have we painted? Some anime characters, cartoon characters. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, we did some landscapes. That's right. Did the Aurora in Iceland. But yeah, we've accomplished a lot together. Already. So I'm very excited to keep this journey going with y'all. Keep doing more, keep learning more. I like to also be teaching some more stuff instead of just you know, primarily so far we've been focusing on you watching me draw, which is fine, but also I like teaching, so I think that that's something that we're probably going to be incorporating more going forward. Me teaching y'all how to do some stuff. I'll have to do some research. I don't know if it's common to like give presentations on Twitch or not, but That's something I'm interested in. On some different topics, like, I don't know, I'm thinking zine stuff, art history stuff, graphic design stuff, because that's been my professional, specialty. It's marketing and whatnot for a number of years. And I like, teaching that stuff, sharing it with others, teaching other people how to be good at things. I did get a little bit of paint on my Dragon Ball Z desk mat here, unfortunately, a few minutes ago, but that's just the cost of doing business, I guess. I think I'll blend this brown and black and blue together a little bit more here in this section. Maybe even a little bit of olive green. Sorry, I was going too hard. I always forget my little disc camera can shake if I'm going too crazy with the mark making. It's like attached to my desk, so if my desk is vibrating, then the camera's vibrating. Hey, welcome, Max69. Thank you. I'm glad you like the colors. We're just working on a pet portrait commission of a sweet little lady pooch. She's a mostly black dog, but she does have like some brindle and stuff in her, so we're, she's black plus trying to work in some other colors. into her fur. I think we also need a little bit of brown right here. The markers I'm using are acrylic paint markers, but they've got like a nice brush tip on them, so they're pretty fun to use and pretty similar to painting in that way. They can lay down like a lot of color at once and stuff, so they have a nice feel to them when you're drawing. All right, black. And I think some blue would be good right here too. They're also pretty good for mixing wet into wet, just like you would with a regular painting. I think both of my dogs are asleep here. I've got like a dog bed on either side of my desk, and there's a dog in each bed, sound asleep. This commission, well, the painting was commissioned by somebody who's going to be giving it as a gift to somebody else, so I'm looking forward to seeing how both of the person that commissioned likes it and the person that'll eventually be receiving it, who owned this puppy, how they like it. Oh, have I tried oil colors? Yeah, I have. Whenever I was an undergrad in art school, we had to take a basic painting class where I had to do oil painting. And I liked it. It was fun, but I kept getting like this really terrible sore throat, and like I'd get really dizzy and stuff, and it turned out that I'm allergic to oil paint. Which I didn't know until I took that class. Wasn't a fun way to find out. So yeah, I don't oil paint for that reason. So I've always been a fan of acrylic painting or anything that's like water based. Yeah, I was like really upset because that was, I don't know, I'm a little bit of an overachiever, so that was like the only art class I think in my whole Bachelor of Fine Arts degree that I didn't get an A in, and it was due to absences. And the absences were because I felt so badly for oil painting. It was a real vicious cycle there. Yeah, I mean, I think oil painting is really cool, though. Um, it's an interesting medium. I have to say also that a lot of the fellow students I was going to school with at that time that were painting majors, um, I was like a drawing concentration and then later on a printmaking concentration. But they were like so into oil painting to the point where they like made you feel bad if you didn't use oil paint. And they were kind of they were pretty stuck up about it, about using oil versus using acrylic or something like that. So it was a weird environment, weird vibes. But I think, in recent years, they've gotten a lot better about like letting folks paint in other kinds of paint, like gouache or acrylic, or even like doing digital artwork and stuff more, even in like, 2D design and other basic drawing classes. Whereas before they were really strict about all that kind of stuff. You could only use whatever the one medium was. So it's nice. I think that stuff has gotten a little bit more open like that. When I was an undergrad, I also had a lot of professors that said like that my style was too illustrative. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'm just drawing, they didn't want you to draw things that looked like cartoons or comics, or, everything had to be a big idea and everything had to mean a whole lot. And, that's fine. But I had this one professor that made people cry regularly. Because she would tell people stuff like their artwork was too illustrative or it didn't mean anything because it was a cartoon. Or one time she told one of my friends that made this drawing that was like inside of like a lantern. The project was to draw on an unusual surface, and so hers was a lantern. And the professor said that the drawing would be better if she set it on fire. Which is pretty rowdy. So needless to say, she was very upset about that, but she did it. She set it on fire. So I don't know. Art school is weird. I'm glad, at least at the university I went to, I think things are a little bit more welcoming now than they used to be. You opened up a whole can of worms unintentionally with that oil painting question. Sorry. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to add a little bit of pink right here on the eye. And kind of work into that. And maybe add kind of an ochre color. No, I like the engagement. Well, I'm glad. Oh, I unfortunately have a lot of art school horror stories, I guess, especially from grad school. That one was much worse than being in undergrad. Just absolutely wild. I don't even know. It was so much stuff I can't even like think of an example easily off of it. at the top of my head because it was um, so constant. But I guess like briefly, some of my work, my personal work, actually a lot of it, I guess, is memoir based, or like, you know, based on personal experiences and stuff like that. And when I was in grad school, I had some male professors that told me that my artwork was women's work, and it didn't mean anything, because it was like art therapy, or because it was like a journal. It wasn't real artwork. Um, so that's just a little taste of what that was like. Pretty crazy. But nowadays, my partner is a professor at the place where we went, and got our Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees. And he's really, really good about being open to, like, you know, the subject matter and the mediums and stuff that people use for their projects. And if they want to draw in an anime style, that's fine. If they want to make a photorealistic portrait, that's fine. That's not how it used to be. So I'm glad to see it change like that, and expanding what the definition of art is in academia when you're teaching. And I always thought it was really funny because the professor that used to tell me that my artwork was too illustrative. One time I told her, I was like, but your artwork is illustrative, because it was like these really realistic drawings of like, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like if you imagine like a dung beetle's ball of dung, but like all body parts and stuff. It sounds really weird, but they were really pretty drawings. And I was like, well, your artwork is illustrative, and she was like, yeah, I know. But, you know, your artwork is not supposed to be illustrative. You're supposed to, you know, be doing this and that. And I'm like, why are you telling me that I can't do something when you're making a living doing that thing? I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, now I get to make whatever I want to make. So that's okay. I'm my own art boss. Including drawings of cute dogs. Okay. Let me get. I kind of wish I had even more browns, even though it looks like I'm using a lot of browns. I can kind of mix some colors together, but I still feel like I'm missing certain things that I would like. But I'm gonna try to get through this just using the markers. I'm excited to make a lot more artwork this year than I've been able to make in years past. It's gonna be a really good year for that, I think. I recently, last month, quit my job so I could focus on art instead. Just got tired of putting off the stuff that I'm passionate about and you know, or trying to be a full-time artist and be a full-time whatever else, and you know, it just doesn't really work very well. Something always has to give. We'll do a little bit of this. Trying to think of maybe some other stories that are not super harrowing. Just the right amount of engaging, I guess, and not art school trauma. It's hard. I don't know. I mean, I guess also like, I mean, I don't want to say that stuff is good because it's not good, but it does teach you what you don't want to be like, you know, when you are a boss or a teacher yourself, you know, you have lots of good examples of what not to do. And I think it's always funny when I use funny in like a certain kind of way, right? But when, see, look, I'm trying to be silly and I totally lost my train of thought, which I do all the time. But I don't know, when professors get really like weirdly personal with their critiques and stuff sometimes, I think usually that means it's not a good professor. But you know, when you're starting out in art school and stuff, you know, they teach you what a good critique is, which is, you know, pretty obvious. Like, you're supposed to talk about the work, you're supposed to say what is working, what's not working, like, you know, how could it be better? Is there concept coming through? What might make it come through better? You know, different things like that, but you never make it about like the person's identity or like, you know what I mean? You don't make them feel bad for their choices, or, you know, tell them they're not going to be successful because of X, Y, and Z. That's not what your job is. Your job is to help people, you know, get better at their craft and figure out how to express their ideas clearly, not make them feel bad about themselves. Seems obvious, but It's not obvious to everybody. Or maybe not in practice. They don't know how to practice what they what they preach, what they teach. Like when I have a beginner student, you know, like a student that's just starting out in graphic design or something, I never tell them, like when they submit their first design to me, holy cow, that is terrible. Go back to the drawing board. You know, I would never tell them that. What you do is you tell them, okay, well, this part is working. I think that, you know, your idea to do this or cut out this figure or your color palette, whatever it is, that's really successful. And I think it's, you know, working for you. You've got the branding guidelines going really well, you know, different stuff like that. And then you say, you know, I think that this piece would be even stronger if, you know, you focused on hierarchy. Like the title should be the biggest thing, right? The event title, the next biggest should be, you know, maybe whatever the next most important information is, you know, date and time, how do they register, you know, focus on alignment. If you left align all this stuff or make sure all these things, you know, align on the same vertical edge or whatever, it's going to make a big difference. And you tell them that stuff, and then they come back to you with their update and it looks so much better. And so you've encouraged them, you've taught them something new, and, you know, they've made something better for whatever you need it for to promote the event and also for their portfolio than what they started out with. Instead of making them feel bad or making them feel like they can't do it or they didn't do anything right. Everything takes practice, takes some effort. You can't get better at something if you don't practice and you don't know maybe like how to make it better. So good critique and good constructive feedback is so important for art and graphic design, all that stuff. Film. Anyway, got up on my critique soapbox there for a little while. I've just unfortunately seen and experienced so many bad critiques that it's just one of those things. Gets me fired up a little bit. But meanwhile, our dog is looking pretty good, pretty colorful. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. You know, whether it's about this piece or the process or anything else we've been talking about. We did have a little bit of an uptick in viewers when I was ranting. So they got kind of a weird first impression of me, but that's okay. We're gonna mix a little bit more olive green here. All right. I think I want to go for this kind of a color in here for the inner ear area. It's a little fuzzy, but not super fuzzy. So I'll probably add this olive green for now, and then go back with some other colors. Probably some more black and like a gray, another gray brown. But yeah, we're you know, lurker friendly here, but if anybody has any questions, feel free. I myself am a lurker at times. There's some streams that I like to watch a lot, but I just, even though I'm talking a lot for this, I'm not necessarily a conversationalist, I would say. Sometimes I just, I think something's interesting, but I don't really know what to say or to ask, and that's fine. I get it. All right, I'm trying to think what we want to do for this area right here. I guess we'll go in with some brown, and then I think we need some black right here to make sure we've got the shape of the head right. There we go. It is fun, like, painting dogs and stuff, because it is sort of like painting people. The likeness is, well, I'm trying to think of how to formulate this sentence, right? It's like, a really small adjustments can, like, make or break the likeness, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So they're similar in that way. Okay. Alright, we're getting kind of close. We've got like, I don't know, what percentage of dog is that? Maybe 3/4 or close to 3/4 of the dog ready. I kind of feel like I still want to add some blue here. Okay, and then I think I want to add a little bit more darkness here to kind of shape the muzzle a little bit more clearly. Right. And then, I think when I had some little shine spots for the eyes to make the eyes look wet. I feel like we're looking pretty cute. Okay. Going off camera slightly. And oh, what a cutie. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and work on the teeth a little bit. Because I feel like
check
they're
out
a
the
little
Pando
bit
Pet Cafe to play with me.
underdeveloped so far. We can fix that for sure. Yeah, Xena is around if you want to interact with her at all. Give her treats, play games. She can play rock, paper, scissors, and one of those cup games. All right. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this dark. Well, it seemed like it was gonna be more dark than it was. I want like a gray blue or in between the teeth here. And then let me see. Here we can do a little bit of purple. Oh yeah, and then I'll kind of make some adjustments to this bottom lip area here. There we go. Get the purple again. Hi there, Theodore681. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well today on this nice Saturday. I don't know if it's nice where you are, but here in Texas, it's pretty hot today for January 3rd. It's like 80 something out right now, I think. Very toasty. We're just working on a little pet drawing. Commission painting of a pet. I think the dog's little front teeth are so cute, like the little ones on the bottom, like they kind of crack me up because they're so little. Whenever my big dog is doing some kind of pose where I can see her little bottom teeth, I just think they're so funny. My little Chewini that I was talking about earlier, who is a barker, he's hearing some stuff outside, so hopefully he's not gonna release a screech or anything, but I'll try to mute it if he seems like he's gonna do anything like that. Okay. I think I'll get kind of a creamish yellow here. To get these side little canines. All right, that's a bit better. Let's see. And then I think we're gonna kind of define the little chin hairs a little bit more. Oh, thank you for saying you like my style of painting. I appreciate that. I'm using a reference photo that this painting was commissioned by somebody that is a friend of the owner of this dog. So the person who commissioned the painting sent me a picture of the dog, a couple different pictures, and this is the one I decided to use because I really like her expression, and you can kind of see like the colors in her fur better. So she's the commissioner told me that she's a black dog. She does look like she has a lot of brindle and stuff in her fur though, so I'm trying to capture all the different browns and stuff that are in her fur to kind of get a more accurate representation of the dog, but also to make the painting more visually interesting than if she was pretty much just, you know, black only, like black and grays. But yeah, I have I just recently opened my pet portrait commissions, so yeah, that's really the only thing I need from somebody is a couple of photos of the pet so I can get a good idea of like what colors they are, and probably use one of the photos as like a direct reference for their likeness. not sure what kind of dog this one is for sure. They didn't say, but she looks a little bit like a German Shepherd, kind of, sort of. But she also has like, you know, like these really big ears that have like kind of round tips on them that are sort of corgi-like. So yeah, we've been working on this all stream today, and just kind of chatting about dogs in general, dogs that we have or have had, art school, art school horror stories. One of my browns went missing. Oh no, here it is. Got it. For the most part, I'm using these Artix acrylic markers that I like a lot because they have like a really nice brush tip on them, and they mix together really well. You can blend the colors so it feels more like regular acrylic painting. And then I'm also occasionally using these Thule art acrylic markers also whenever I don't have the color I need in the Artix markers, or I have some darker values and stuff in my Thule sets. So like, you know, I have this is a pretty true brown, but the Arctic set that I have doesn't really have a brown like that, so they still mix okay together here. Oh, thanks, Theodore. Theodore says, I like how you choose, instead of black, white, lighting, to use other colors like blue and brown. They really add warmth to the drawing. I'm not an expert, but this is my humble opinion. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad that's how you feel about it, because that's definitely what I'm trying to do. I think it adds like more personality, you know, when you include some other colors. And I feel like you can tell from the photo that, you know, it's a really sweet dog, and like it was probably taken in like a moment of play or something like that, you know. So I think adding like a playful color palette really adds to that sense of it, the playful sense. But yeah, I appreciate that. I think you're spot on. Let's see. Well, thank you for following, Theodore681. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Do you like to draw or anything like that? Do you like art? Making art? Watching art? Alright, let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add some black right here. This is kind of where her eyelid is. And then I think I included a little bit too much white of the eye in my original line here, so I'm going to make it a little closer. All right. Making progress. I'm gonna go in with some more of this grayish brown here and kind of get some more of this white filled in. And then go back in and mix some more colors together. Add a little bit of this reddish brown here, and then some black. All right. I think like this sage-ish color would be good right here. And then I'm gonna add some light blue to mix together here around the eye. There's kind of like a highlight in the photo. All right. Let me add a little bit of this brown, and then start blending in some black right here. And the black is pretty strong, so kind of have to negotiate it back and forth a little bit. But yeah, I hope the person that's the owner of this pup, and as well as the person that commissioned it, I hope that they're gonna really like it when they see it. I'm looking forward to handing it off and seeing what they say. As a dog fan myself, it's definitely fun for me to paint dogs and try to get their little personalities to show through the drawing. Let's see. I think I'll add some blue here. Theodore says, I'm a novice, always learning. Did not decide what kind of painting to master yet. Pencil, oil, or watercolor, although pencil painting looks really magical. Probably will start with black and white pencil drawing, and maybe after time we'll continue with colored pencils. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think starting with black and white is usually a good approach. And even if you want to become a painter, I think starting out with drawing is a really good idea, because I mean, I love drawing, it's my favorite, but also I feel like the skills that you learn from drawing are applicable to like every other kind of art. They're really helpful, you know, when you're painting, they're helpful when you're sculpting, they're helpful when you're, you know, making digital stuff, and you know, thinking about compositions and all that kind of stuff is even helpful when you're, you know, working in film, or it's a really transferable skill. So I think that that's a good idea. And a lot of people feel like more comfortable starting out in black and white and kind of like learning about value and stuff, just in grayscale, and then sort of transferring that over into color. So whatever you think is best for you is probably a good idea to start with. And also just kind of experimenting and playing around with different media is also okay too, even when you're first learning. You can learn a lot of stuff just from playing around with different types of paint or types of tools. I think oil is one that is known for being, you know, probably pretty challenging, which is not to say that it's impossible by any means, but it also requires like a lot of care in terms of your setup, you know. I was talking earlier on stream about how I've actually found out I'm allergic to oil paint, and you have to use like different kinds of chemicals and stuff, you know, when you're doing oil painting. So, and it has fumes, and so that's like some additional stuff to kind of negotiate there, and to be careful of too. You know, you don't want to like paint in a closed garage or something like that while you're oil painting. That could potentially be dangerous. So experimenting is great. Maybe doing a little bit of research about stuff like that will help you in the long run to try new stuff safely. But that sounds cool. I'm glad that you're pursuing a art journey, trying some stuff out. I've always loved making art. I don't think there was ever a time where I didn't. And I'm glad to be in a position myself where I'm getting to make more art again than I have been able to for like the last few years. It feels really good. I'm impressed how black and white drawing can be alive even without colors, and how my mind is trying to connect it with emotions and colors. Yeah, that's true. Black and white can be such a powerful medium, whether it's like, you know, graphite, or even like black and white photos are really incredible. And then, yeah, it's interesting how your brain kind of tries to fill in the colors and stuff even when they're not there.
Z.
Yeah. It does feel, you know, I don't know. It feels really nice to look at black and white drawings. There's something like, I don't know, like kind of calming about them too, I guess, because, I mean, depending on the subject matter, I guess, but, you know, without the color and stuff there, it really lets your brain focus on whatever the subject matter is. And I feel like, you know, like sometimes color might be a distraction. You know, you might be looking at, wow, this lime green is really awesome, instead of, you know, maybe something else about the drawing. For now, it's just a hobby. I can't believe to become full-time artist, but also know how human body can be pretty amazing and reach new horizons. So everything is possible. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing is impossible, especially with with practice, you know. That's what I always tell people, you know, when you're making art, you know, you might commonly get people that say that, you know, well, I can't even draw a stick figure. But I usually tell them that the main difference between me being able to, like, you know, draw this, for example, and them only being able to draw a stick figure is just that I've been drawing my entire life. You know, so just probably thousands and thousands of hours of practice. So it seems easier for me, but you know, anybody can. I feel like there's like some, you know, maybe inherent talent. I used to believe in talent specifically a lot more. But I think as I've gotten older, I realized that, you know, it really is the amount of time that you've spent, you know, practicing or studying or being passionate about something that makes you better at it. So for sure, anything is possible. The more you work at something, the better you're gonna get at it. And sometimes it might not seem like you're getting a lot better, but you know, even incrementally getting better at something is still improvement, you know. And I think sometimes people forget to measure those incremental steps that they take when they're getting better at something. That it's all good, all important. And art is a hobby, is a pretty fun hobby, you know. It's a nice way to decompress or express yourself, to kind of focus on something and relax. There's lots of great things about it. Okay. I also kind of feel like it's a really good time to be learning about art, you know, and trying stuff out, because, you know, at this point, there's like so many different ways to learn and so many tools and resources on the internet, and yeah, the options for even how you can learn something are so much more limitless, you know, than they used to be. Lots of opportunities, lots of things to explore. Theodore says, the bigger problem is I do not have time for everything. I also love cooking, traveling, photography, and a few more. which according to a few people are pointless. For example, love anime, notice your Dragon Ball background. Great anime, by the way, and gaming. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I can empathize with you there. I also sort of like all of the things and like to do all the things. And it is hard to find time to do all of them, but yeah, all worthy pursuits for sure. I think photography is also a really fun one that, you know, could be easy to integrate, you know, into other areas of your life, like maybe, you know, on your commutes to work or something like that, or like, I don't know, if you take public transportation or something like that, or like during your lunch break going out, and even just practicing taking photos and like editing them and stuff on your phone. Like, you're still learning, you're still thinking about composition and all that fun stuff. I also really like to travel and would like to do more of that for sure in the future. I feel like that one's the hardest one because it, you know, unfortunately costs money for the most part. And that one can be a hard one to get to do much. Yeah, I wouldn't listen to those people that say it's not a worthy pursuit. They're wrong. Obviously, I wholeheartedly disagree, and I'm sure that you probably do too. Okay. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more darker brown right here to kind of make those shapes clear. Let's brown here. I think we could use some, maybe like a blue here. All right. Gonna let the dog rest a little bit, and I'm gonna work on this background for a second, and then probably come back to the dog with fresh eyes, hopefully. Let's see. The background in the reference is just kind of a regular off-white wall, but I think that we can make the painting more exciting by making it more of a orangey color, and that'll balance some of the orange I put on her face, and it'll look better with this blue and teal pillow thing that she's laying on. Let's see. The set doesn't have a super true orange, unfortunately, but it does have some yellow oranges. So we'll start out with that. It's a good thing that YouTube has so many great artists' work to see. Yeah, for sure. I really like just putting on videos sometimes of other people drawing on, you know, here on Twitch or on YouTube, and just, I feel like it's kind of relaxing to watch other people draw, and sometimes you might learn a little something from how they do things, because they might do something a little bit differently than you do it, or why orange? Because of the brown? Yeah, I think so orange, well, orange is like the complementary or split complementary of blue. Um no, yeah, it's a true complementary, right? So whenever we put orange and blue together, they um kind of like vibrate off of each other. So that's one reason, because I think that it'll look nice with this teal color. Um, and then also I did put a little bit of that color in the dog's face, and I'll probably add it a couple other places as well. And then that'll make kind of an overall like balance. It'll add like balance to the composition because there will be a little of it throughout the painting, if that makes sense. I also love to see how people draw and make magic. Yeah, it's neat to watch. And then sometimes even when you're making something, like it might feel difficult in the moment, but like I've had a lot of times where like after I'm done with something, you have this feeling like, oh my god, I made that? How did I even do that? Even though you just spent however many hours making all the decisions to make it, afterwards it still kind of feels crazy. Crazy that it's possible to make stuff, you know? Being able to make things out of thin air is pretty cool magic. Okay. I also feel like adding the orange and the yellow are some additional things that can add to that sense of playfulness. You know, because they're both like happy, energetic type colors. So it'll, you know, give the painting a more of a sense of happiness, you know, overall. Okay. Getting pretty close. Not quite there yet, but pretty close. It's kind of at like one of those tricky stages where you start getting really close to finishing something and you're like, I know it needs something, but what does it need? Then you kind of got to figure it out a little bit. So I'm going to try to refine some shapes and stuff like that. Make sure the shapes of the face and everything are how they should be. More depth, maybe. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I want to make sure that there's enough depth happening in the face, and like that the planes of the face look right. Yeah, I was kind of talking a little bit earlier about how drawing, I don't remember how long ago that was, so sorry if I already said this, but you know, drawing dogs is similar to drawing humans, because you know, when you're drawing their portrait and you're trying to render a likeness. Small, little itty bitty changes can make a big difference in terms of how much it actually looks like the person or like the dog. Yeah, I know what you mean. And yeah, that's totally fine. I think you know, something I've learned from being in art school and also teaching students and stuff is that even if you're a beginner and maybe aren't sure exactly what something needs or like how to vocalize it, like you probably have like a sense of it, you know, like I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. But like you know, just because like if somebody else draws better than me, like I might still be able to tell that, like, you know, their character's arm is too short or they didn't render the lighting right or something like that, you know? Especially like stuff that we look at a lot. Just as humans, we look at other humans a lot. Or maybe we look at dogs a lot. So you might be able to look at something and tell, like, well, something doesn't seem quite right about that.
I'm hungry.
And that's like, you know, a sense that you keep developing as an artist. And, you know, eventually you get good at figuring out for your own drawings what it needs to look better. And that's another part of getting better. And another tool you can use to get better is being able to look at your own stuff and figure out what's up. That's like one of the reasons why people tell you to like take a picture of your drawing or something and then flip it, is because all of a sudden your brain is seeing it from a new angle and you can tell right away what's wrong with it, whereas maybe you weren't able to just a second ago. Oh my gosh, my dog is sneezing. Crazy. I guess both of our allergies are bothering us right now. Okay, yeah, I think I need to fix this line right here. And then, let's see. I hope the dog's not getting cold. No, it's pretty hot here. It's I don't even know what is the temperature right now? 80. No. Yeah, it's 80 right now. It's we don't get real winters here, unfortunately. It was nice and cool for New Year's Day, and then it's been in the 80s since then. Unfortunately. Okay, I think I do also need a little bit more darkness to come in this way, so I'm gonna mix this black and brown together a bit. Actually, let's try. What does this do? Add some more blue in this area. Some blue black. I think we'll also eventually need to add whiskers, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm always a little hesitant to add whiskers on dogs, even though obviously they have them, because it's easy to accidentally make them look like a cat when you add the whiskers in. I can probably make it look a bit more fuzzy overall. And that can happen just with adjusting some of the edges so they're not as crisp. The neighbors are out doing stuff, and so my dog's like looking at me like, "Is it time to bark yet? Can I let out a screech? Please don't." Not right now. I think we'll add some more of that blue right here. So I think this will help add in like more darkness and depth to the dog's muzzle. I think is helping us out a little bit. I wish I had more in between browns. Let's see if I can find anything in this other colors here. Oh, alright, I'm gonna mute for a second.
Nice to meet you. I'm Xena.
I think the barking is over with. I think what might also help a little bit is giving us some variety in mark making. So adding some of these little tiny markers will also make create some more visual interest for the eye to look at, and we'll also get some more texture. Just like when you're painting with paintbrushes and stuff like that, it's good to use different shapes and sizes of brushes for the same reason. This is the first one I found in a long time that I haven't used before, so let me just try to shake it up a little bit. Oh, do I have a favorite movie or game? Sorry, I didn't see your message. Let's see. I think one of my all-time favorite movies is probably Interstellar. But I really like sci-fi movies and stuff for the most part, or maybe comedies. And then for games, I like RPGs a lot, but I do play action games and stuff like that too. Like, you know, I'll play Fortnite and that type of thing. But like, one of my favorite games is of all time is Final Fantasy X, which might sound kind of silly. I feel like it's having a little bit of a renaissance, but it was like the first console game that I ever got when I was little, and so it just has like a special place in my heart, and I've played it on every single console that I've had, basically. It's like I have to play it on everything. I don't know why. Oh, Stargate SG-1. I'm trying to think. I've only seen a handful of the Stargate movies, but I've been meaning to watch more of the Stargate stuff. I have seen, I know that I like the Stargate Atlantis movie. I think I haven't watched it for a long time, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones that I enjoyed watching. I'm trying to think of what I've been watching recently. I just finished watching what is it called? Sunny? I think it's on Apple TV, which is not something I usually have a subscription to, but it's like dang, I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, it's a lady that moves to Kyoto, Japan, and her husband and son go missing. But it's like a sci-fi, and it's also kind of a comedy. I just finished watching season 1 of that, and it was really good. I think they might have canceled it, of course. Oh, it's not a waste to watch Stargate. Yeah, I probably should do that. There's like some stuff like that that I've been meaning to watch that I've never fully watched before. Like, I was just saying yesterday that I've never fully watched, oh god, why did I just forget what it's called? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I can't believe I just forgot what it was called mid-sentence. I'll try to think of it. Gosh, I'm always doing that. I'm always forgetting stuff while I'm talking. There's more, but we'll remember in time. Yeah. Twilight Zone. That's what it was. I was like, I know it's like super famous. It's very, very obvious. I just could not think of what it was. Yeah, I saw it again like when I was scrolling for stuff to watch yesterday, and like every time I see it I'm like, is it going to be this time? Is this the time that I'm finally going to watch it? And then I keep not watching. Oh, Fringe is a good series. I've heard of that one. I don't think I've watched it. I'll have to look into that one too. I'm still kind of in the process of watching Naruto all the way through. I watched like, the whole like the first series is just, called Naruto, and then I think we're like 3/4 of the way through Shippuden. I should watch Fringe. End of conversation. No, I'll look into it. Are there any games that y'all are into playing right now? I also just recently started playing what is it called? Skyrim for the first time. Well, kind of the first time. I tried playing Oblivion a long time ago. I didn't really like it at that time, but usually I like games like that a lot, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this another try. So, yeah, I like RPGs and also indie games. I like trying out different indie games. Do I like horror animes? Yeah, I think so. Trying to think of one that is for sure horror that I like. There's some horror adjacent ones that I like for sure, like Claymore, Berserk. I don't think I watched Claymore. I've read some of Berserk. I like I don't know if you would call Chainsaw Man a horror, but it's definitely got like some dark elements to it, like a lot of violence and stuff. And like I've read most of the Junji Ito books and watched the anime adaptation of that. I'm trying to think. Horror. I've read the Drifting Classroom manga. That one's definitely a horror, I would say. I like that one. Oh yeah, Samurai Champloo. That's a really good one. I really like that one. I've been thinking about watching it again. For Christmas I got like a vinyl soundtrack of Cowboy Bebop, which is, Samurai Champloo adjacent. And I've had I used to have a CD of the Samurai Champloo soundtrack that I used to listen to in my car. And that one's a really, really good anime. Oh yeah, I watched Solo Leveling. That one is really good. I was looking at the comic for it the other day, and I was like debating on buying it, but I feel like it's hard for me to read a manga like after I've already watched the anime, but if I, read the manga first, that's fine. But, so often they're just like 100% like verbatim. Even like the framing of the scenes and stuff is like coming directly from the manga. So it's like, do I want to go through the whole thing again, just in a different way? I'd have to really like it. Yeah, it's worth reading. Yeah. I like webtoon and stuff too, and so I was specifically looking at some of the like webtoons that have been turned into physical books and stuff when I was at the bookstore yesterday. I'm checking those out. Oh my gosh, we're having a bark off again. Hang on. Yeah, I like One Punch Man too. That's a really good one. Have you watched Mob Psycho? That one's one of my favorites. That one's really good. And I did read some of the manga after watching the series, and I still enjoyed it. It's really out there. And I think it's by the same creator as One Punch Man, right? I'm trying to think of if there's any other animes I've been watching recently. I started watching the I haven't seen the newest episodes that have come out, but the Gachiakuta, the trash anime. And I also watched Kaiju number 8. I've been reading the manga for that one. I started with the manga first, and then I was really excited when they turned it into an animated series. That one's really fun, and it's really funny. And the manga especially is really funny. Let's see. I think I need to add a little bit more darkness right here. I think that'll get darker as it dries. Okay. I started but never finished it. One Punch Man got me all. Yes, it's from the same creator. Even characters look the same. Yeah, yeah. Those funny eyes that they have. I like the manga. Like, I don't want to say they're bad drawings because they're not, but they're like the style is so specific, and it's so like goofy that I feel like it's even more exaggerated in the manga, and it's really funny. And like I track like the books and stuff that I read on Goodreads, and like after I finish reading one of the Mob Psycho volumes, I like tracked it on there, and it had like not very good reviews, and like a bunch of people saying the art is so bad, this and that. And I'm like, but that's like that's just part of it. That's part of the charm. It's like one of the reasons that I like it is because the art is so different. They just didn't understand, couldn't appreciate it, I guess. I think we're making a lot of progress now with this texture and stuff. I don't want to been too long on the texture because we call it noodling. Is like when you're just working on something and you're like almost kind of taking it too far and it's not really making any significant difference. And I don't want to get to the point of noodling. But I think it is looking better at the moment. Oh yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is good. The first time I tried to watch it, I don't know why I couldn't get through it. And then a few years ago I watched it with somebody and then that made it like a lot better. I don't know why. But yeah, I definitely liked it the second time I tried to watch it. I think sometimes that happens, you know, like you're not ready or something for it, and then you give something another shot and you're like, why did I not like this the first time? This is really good.
ZZZZ.
Let's see. Oh, another one I haven't used yet. I'm surprised. Okay. Try to get this one going. Even these little ones are also Thule markers. I got the Thule ones first to try because I used Posca markers in the past, and so I thought that that's like the best version of an acrylic marker there was, and I don't really like them. Like sometimes they're real watery and weird. Like the consistency isn't consistent between markers. And then I tried these and I liked them pretty well. So I've done a few drawings with these, but then I found these with the brush tip, and they're like definitely my favorite because they feel so much like painting. But the Thule ones are also pretty good. And both brands have like a lot of different sets, like different color palette sets and stuff like that for whatever you might be looking for. Yeah, Faber-Castell is a nice drawing tool brand. I haven't used them for a long time, but I used to use them a lot. Like their grayscale set, and even like the ones they have that are like just like the regular black markers, but like different tip sizes. Yeah, those are good ones. for a long time. Like, I pretty much only drew in black and white because I was scared. I was scared that I was going to ruin stuff as soon as I tried to put color on it. And then eventually I got over that fear, and now I make, everything has every color in it. But, yeah, so I used to use lots of different stuff like that for just black and white ink drawings and stuff. Oh, yeah. Because they're expensive and you're not going to use their full potential, so you're starting with the cheap ones. Yeah. And like, some of that stuff, like, it also depends on, the person using it to make it better, right? So, like, for most of my painting career, I used, up until just a couple years ago, I used like the most basic version of acrylic paint that was available, like the basics, the Liquitex basics. And you can still make good paintings with those. You might just have some issues with like some of the colors being like not having very good opacity, like kind of watery, but you can still make good stuff with, the cheaper materials. I noticed AliExpress sells Faber-Castell and bought a few to try them out. For 60 cents per pencil is fine if it's really Faber. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really tried buying anything off of there. I've only ever watched like streams of people that like buy a bunch of stuff off of AliExpress or like websites like that. And then I don't know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Where they just kind of buy stuff to see how it like turns out, if it's good or not. So yeah, I have no idea. Chinese have everything. Yeah. I bought this like microscope type, I don't know how to explain it. Like it takes photos and stuff, but it can also like zoom into stuff really close, like so you can see the textures and stuff. And I thought it would be fun to use for drawings, like reference, or like for elements and collages and stuff. And I had no idea. Like, I thought I was buying it from an American company, and then like the next thing I know, it was shipping from China. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I wasn't sure if I don't know if the company ended up being a Chinese company or if it was still like an American company just producing their stuff in China. But yeah, they do have lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool art supplies and stationery supplies and stuff like that in Asia. And one of my friends is a nail artist, and she really likes buying stuff off of Red Note. She'll like Google Translate and like ask people where they get their supplies, or if she can buy stuff from them, and then yeah, get stuff for her business. Yeah, you can post a link if you want. Oh, okay. So it's like the Faber-Castell pencil set. Yeah, I have no idea if it'll be the genuine thing, but I mean, it looks like they've got the logo on the picture. But yeah, that'll be fun. I feel like it's always so fun to get new art supplies and try it out. All right. Getting pretty close. I think I want to add maybe just a little bit more. I don't know why this one marker in particular doesn't want to work. Let me get a different one. Let's try this one. Just want to add a little bit more interest down here. It's getting a little shiny, but hopefully see what it's looking like here. Super, super close, I think, at this point. I might just want to add a little bit more darkness to this patch over here. Oh, this one is also not working. I think these little fine tip ones, like the tip gets clogged or something. And I don't have the time or the energy to unclog them. I keep forgetting until I like go to use it and it doesn't work. And then I'm like, what the heck? Let's get a little bit more texture in this spot so it's not like flat looking. Let me see. I sort of feel like I want to add like a little bit of a green down here. The drawing looks nice, thank you.
How are you doing today?
If I have time, also watch Demon Slayer. Yeah, I watched that one too. I haven't watched the new movie. I've really been wanting to watch the new movie, and for that, and also the Chainsaw Man one that came out. I wasn't able to go and see it in theater, so I've been like waiting for the rental price to go down so I can finally watch it. I'm very excited about both of those. I feel like I want to add some green right here. It's probably like so subtle. No one is going to notice that it's there, really, except for me, but you got to enjoy your own drawings, right? Otherwise, what is the point? Okay. I'm just kind of looking at to find different spots that I think need a little something, and then add in a little something. I think we can define this a little bit better. That day you were also unable to go watch it in the theater. Yeah. I think it's really cool that they're going, you know, like in the movie theaters, but I haven't gone and watched a movie in the theaters for quite a while now. I don't think I've gone back since the pandemic, and so much stuff just like comes out, you know, directly on streaming services and whatnot now anyway. So just haven't really been going. And I think aside from like those two movies, the Demon Slayer one and the Chainsaw Man one coming out in theaters, there really hasn't been much that I wanted to even go to the theater to see. Oops, sorry, I just bumped my camera. Is it a good deal? 50 Artix markers for $56. I think so. Let me, I can look and see how much I bought the set that I have for, like what the cost per marker was. Well, on Amazon, there is, I don't know how many you're like looking to get at once, but, oh, that's not the right link. Hang on. Let me grab it. Still had the wrong thing on my clipboard. Okay. This one is like, 90 colors for $65. So I don't see the per marker price, but I think that sounds better, right? And I think that they have a couple of different sets like that. That's the one that I have. And probably any other sets are pretty good. Like, I think it's a pretty good product in my opinion. Okay, let's see. Let me add, I'm really trying not to noodle. Let me add just a little bit more brown to this little section right here. Okay, let me eyeball this a little bit and see what we've got. So here's the top of it. Let me see if I can get closer for y'all. It's a little shiny. I have a light to my left, so it's kind of casting a shine on the canvas texture, but I think it looks pretty good. I feel like I could probably call this done and be satisfied with that. So, let me, okay, I said that, and then I just want to fix like one thing. That's like, the thing we don't want is me trying to fix little things forever. That's also a skill that you know, eventually develop is knowing when something is done. Sometimes it might not feel done, but it is done. I think I just want to add like a little bit of texture there to make her look a little bit more fuzzy. Okay. I think that's probably gonna do it for today. Nice. Let's see. Are y'all down? Let's see if there's anybody that we might want to raid today. Okay. If y'all are down, we can raid another art stream. Somebody looks like they're making a pretty complicated digital drawing. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody hanging out today. It was good to meet y'all and talk to y'all. Thanks for your support. I'll probably stream again soon, maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then probably on Monday. But yeah, so thanks everybody. I'll see you soon.